Welcome to Divine Honey Podcast. I am your host, your friend, Tamika Johnson.
And I'm your host, your other friend, Tim Johnson.
If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. The show is about human experiences. This includes thought provoking conversations and our Divine Honey guest sharing stories about love, life, journey, and purpose. If you're watching live or on the replay and you feel inspired, show some love in the chat. This is your inspirational podcast.
We need it.
Yeah, how are you, brother?
I'm well. I'm a little tired, but I'm doing well.
What are you
Getting geared up
tired?
for the work week.
What are you tired from?
Bro, I'm a full-time husband, father, host. Shit, it's long days over here, bruh. It ain't nothing like y'all single folks. Talking about y'all
Hey,
tired. I just gotta take care
we
of
are
yourself.
we are tired. Taking care of myself is a full-time job.
Shit.
And hey, those were your life choices.
I didn't say they were. I'm happy with mine. I'm happy with mine.
Mm-hmm.
You dig?
Yeah, how was your week?
Last week was actually long, to be honest with you. It felt like a long one. But we made it through. Got through it. Came out better on the other end. How's
Right.
everything out in sunny Arizona?
The temperature has dropped a little bit. It is like 95 degrees right now.
Yeah, that's
And
hot,
that
bro.
that is hey, it's better than 110.
That's hot, bro.
Yeah. But in the mornings it's like in the 70s. So that's nice. I'll take it. No, nothing too crazy here. Just working, taking care of myself,
Staying out
and
the
doing
way.
all the things. Went to church. Yeah, went to church this morning, so that was good. Got a little bit of the
Hallelujah.
word in. Praise God.
What was the
Won't he
message?
do it? The message, well, at church we're entering into a 21-day fast. So the fast is like basically praying. It's about prayer. So really praying not even just for yourself, but for other people. And for other people who've kind of strayed away from God, or not strayed away from God, but like how I was. I didn't go back to church after the pandemic. So there's people that were over church, under churched, or displaced, right?
Sure.
So just praying for them in the 21 days to come back, come on home.
Come
And
home.
also, yep, and also just praying for that we can hear the voice of God.
That's good.
So you're blocking everything out. You're going to get rid of things that would distract you. There's different types of fast, but I'm intermittently fasting on the food side.
How many
So
hours?
I'm counting when I'm sleeping too, so 16. So I'm not going to eat until noon.
So what you gonna stop at? Like 6
I
p.m.?
Yeah, I usually eat dinner around 4 or 5 and I'm done. So 6 p.m. is the cutoff. And then I won't eat till noon. But I will still, in the mornings, I will still drink my tea. I will be hydrated. I will still drink, but I just won't eat. And then there's other things to fasting, like getting rid of certain things. So there's other things I'm going to be getting rid of and not doing or partaking in. Just anything that would distract me.
Stay focused, champ.
Focus, and then in that time just praying a lot, just really meditating on God.
You got a rug? You got a prayer rug?
I don't have I don't have a prayer rug. I don't have a prayer rug.
Why is that? Is that funny or something?
No, it wasn't funny. It just threw me off. You're like, you got a prayer rug. I was like,
I don't know,
I don't
man. People got
I
prayer
don't have
rugs.
I
Yeah.
don't, but I
So,
have a routine. So
yeah.
that was today. So oh, Also, you saw I'm going to bring it up again just because the audience, I have to, because this thing where everyone gets mad at you when you talk about the WNBA. So this morning, well, let's start with you, Tim. You sent me a text a few weeks ago and you said, send this to your friends.
Oh, about Caitlin Clark breaking the
Yeah.
assist record
Yeah.
for the entire WNBA, not just as a rookie, but the entire WNBA. Yes, I did do that.
So then today, my friend said, oh, send this to your, I'm in a group chat and said, you should send this to Tamika's brother. And they sent me a screenshot and I sent it to him. And what was it, Tim?
Yeah, AJ Wilson's cold. I ain't never said she wasn't. Congratulations to her. Shout out to her. Shout out to her leading the way for the women. Caitlin Clark was the unanimous rookie of the year. She didn't send that in the group chat though. Caitlin get a lot of shade, man. She get a lot of shade. She's just trying to play basketball. But yeah, shout out to AJ Wilson though. She is the best player in the NBA, and it's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know you ruffle so many feathers about the WNBA.
It's cuz, bro. Y'all got y'all likes. She's a black woman, so it's gonna make other people feel a certain way if I don't cheer for her. I cheer for AJ Wilson. I just like to, you know what I'm saying? Caitlin Clark is a good basketball player too.
No, you can cheer for both. You can cheer for whoever you want. I have no dog in this fight, actually. I don't even watch WNBA.
I know you don't watch sports.
I know you wish we could talk about sports more, but look, remember when you were trying to teach me about football and you told me somebody else would have to show me? So if you would have taught me about football, we could talk about it. Because I know football.
Bro, you've been to how many of my football games, bro?
I don't be paying attention to that. I really don't. I remembered all the cheers from high school. I paid attention to the cheers. That was fun.
Brian thought I was weak in high school. That's crazy.
She thought you were weak.
Yeah, bro. We was talking about something the other day, and I'd be like, Zach, you better tell her I was nice. She's like, yeah, he was nice. She thought I was weak.
You were good. Look, she said, I never thought you were weak.
Don't try to save face now, bro.
So, today's topic, what's today's topic? Happiness versus contentment.
Can you provide us with a Webster dictionary definition of each of those words, please?
I can, sir.
Thank you.
So, well, this is the description I got. Well, I got this from AI. Okay. So, happiness often describes as a short-term or a more intense feeling linked to moments of joy, excitement, or pleasure. Tends to be a reaction to external events or achievements. Example, getting a promotion, spending time with loved ones. It can fluctuate depending on circumstances, and it sometimes seen as fleeting. That's happiness.
That's real. That's a great definition.
So contentment is more of a long-term, steady feeling characterized by a sense of peace and satisfaction with life as it is. Less dependent on external events. Instead, it's about accepting and appreciating the present situation, even if it's not perfect. More sustainable than happiness, providing a stable emotional foundation. So those are perfect definitions. So what are your thoughts on, where would you say you're at? You're in the happiness or you're in the contentment?
I would say I'm happy. I don't think I really don't want to be in contentment just because I don't want to become like stagnant. Like I think it's nice to embrace and be content in moments of time, but you can also become complacent when you stay in contentment. And I don't ever want to become complacent. Like I haven't hit the level that I want to hit career wise yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to be like I'm content where I'm at right now. But I am happy with what I'm doing. I'm growing to like my job. I was struggling with the work I was doing at first, but 9 months in, um, creating pathways and different opportunities for me within my new role has been nice for me, and I'm just hoping that I can continue to grow in that so that I can be director. That's just all I'm aiming for, to be a director, just so I can run my own team, set my own goals as like not my own goals, but set the team goals, like truly guide the work that we do as a team, and then take all accountability and responsibility for that. That's where I'm trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Where you at?
I don't know. I wouldn't say there's some contentment in some areas of my life, and then there's some areas where I may be striving for more happiness. It's just day by day with me. There's more good days than bad for sure. I think that's just life's up and down, and that's where you have to be in the place of, in that definition, it says accepting and appreciating the present situation, even if it's not perfect.
Right.
So I don't want to be stagnant, but I would like to sit in more of a place of contentment. Um, because I could be happy about something. It's fleeting for me. Happiness is very fleeting for me. Something can make me happy, but then I'm like over, it
Right.
doesn't stay. So I would like to be in more of the space of contentment instead of the pursuit of happiness.
Oh, I dig that. That's deep.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree with the statement. It's an emotional foundation.
Yeah, it is indeed.
And then I can, when the happy times come, the fleeting, that burst of dopamine comes, you appreciate it, you like it. When it leaves, you're still level on your foundation.
So for you, yours is more of the coming and going versus it staying happy.
Yes.
So you have like high highs and low lows.
Yes.
I
And
got you.
then sometimes but
Ready to
then
be.
I get, yeah. But you know what? Sometimes like that is like boring. Like okay. But I'm
Boring
trying
is
to,
good though.
yeah, I'm trying to get in more of the mode of appreciation. Like the small things. We think of these big, huge things, but like, for example, I live somewhere where I've always wanted to live somewhere where it's sunny and bright. So I try to take in, like, especially those days when I feel bored or like nothing's going on, just sitting out on my patio. I have palm trees and a mountain.
You got the whole thing, bro.
Yeah. And just taking that in and just sitting in appreciation,
Gratitude.
gratitude. But that's you got to be mindful too, though. Like you got to understand what your emotions are and how you're feeling, and being able to recognize them, or at least being able to call it what it is, even when it's ugly.
Right. Facts. No, that's a fact.
But professionally, so that's just like personal. I would like to work on just staying more in the content. So no matter what's going on, there's a level of peace and joy in my heart that I'm creating. But professionally, I guess really I just want to do more creative stuff. I want to focus more on this podcast and grow with it. Me grow as a person, being able to articulate and communicate, and actually get more educated on topics.
Such
Because I
as
want
like
to.
say more about that.
What was that?
I said say more about like what is that? Explore more topics. Like what do you mean?
Explore, well, learning more, being more well versed on different topics, and educating myself, and coming more from an educated point of view versus emotional. But there's a balance. I probably would never be completely like just analytical and this and that. It's just not my personality.
Right.
But I would like to grow in that other area so I have a well balanced point of view.
Oh. Yeah, man. They say it's hard, man, to know everything and then be a master of none.
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
just
So,
there was something I said about you, Tim, to someone. Someone said, "Oh, your brother, you seem what was it? Very outspoken or blunt." Um, and I go,
that
"Yeah."
I
I
do.
go, "Yeah, I don't think you're I don't think you're I think it means you're confident. It was more you're confident when you're
Oh,
speaking
sure.
and you stand on it." And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Here's the thing, and it's not mean. You know what I mean? It's clear, it's direct, it's to the point, but I said you speak with confidence and you stand on it. And if you're wrong, you're okay with being wrong." And I said, I wish I could be more like that.
Yeah,
That's
there
a
ain't no ego, bro. Like I mean, there are things where my ego will show up. I'm not
mhm,
gonna. I'm not perfect. However, the thing about it is, bro, if you're afraid to be wrong, then what's up? You know, like what is that insecurity that's blocking that? Because even when we get on here, I learn stuff. So like, there's always an opportunity for growth and development at
mhm,
all times. You just have to be willing and ready to listen and receive the message. I think that's one of the hardest points I learned from
mhm.
reading. What was the book? I was going to look on my phone real quick. I think the book is called "Get to the Point." And every time I speak, whether I'm on here or if I'm doing like a professional development or some presentation, even if it's wrong, you end your sentences with a period versus ending them with a question mark, because you're the only person that knows that it's wrong unless you're called out. And even if you are called out, when you still respond, if you end it with a question mark, that leaves room for people to poke holes in everything that you've already said.
Mm,
Because a lot of the times people don't know. They truly don't know, because they're coming to listen to you talk regardless. And if you do give some misleading information or some information that doesn't make sense or it is unclear, if you end it with a period, they're going to take it and accept it.
right.
Now, if that is that right or wrong? Who's to say, right? However, if you end that with a question mark, like you're questioning your own statement that you're saying in front of folks, they're gonna poke holes all in that. And now you're in like your presentation or whatever you're doing, your speech, talking, whatever. Now internally you become like defensive because now everybody's coming at you
Right.
versus just having like a couple of hecklers or whomever it is wherever you're at. There's always going to be a few people that challenge, and that just comes with the game, right? We're aware of those few people that are going to challenge what you got going on. But if you
Mhm.
put that question mark on there, and what about I mean that? So like I could be like, Tamika, this is a great podcast. Tamika, this is a great podcast. You dig what I'm saying? So like
Right.
that's two different. That's the same thing I said, but I said it. Your tone of voice, the way, the rhythm of speech, all of that was with that question mark, and there's no confidence supporting that. So like, if I don't believe it, they not gonna believe it.
Right. I
And
can dig that.
that's one thing. Like I've stuck to it always.
And
Like even if I'm super unsure, I'm still closing this thing down with a period on the end of my sentence. Every time.
but that's the thing I admire about you. I know our communication styles are like different. And remember when I always think about when we had that one conversation where I got mad at you because of mom. You remember that? And we
I
had to go
almost had
get
to
her the
kick you out
next
my house.
day.
I almost had to kick you
What?
out my house. And I was at work. She comes downstairs trying to cuss me out, and I'm on a call at work.
I did not cuss you out. I didn't say no swear words.
Come down cussing me out. And I can hear her upstairs because the bedroom's right above my office in the basement. Still cussing me out.
I mean, I was talking junk about you. Like I was like, he makes me so sick. And he said, I can hear you. And I did say, I don't give a damn. I'll cuss you out in your own house. Now, yeah, but anyways, this is what I ended up doing. So I did get a little advice because I was like really upset. This is why I was upset with you, because I didn't feel like you heard me, was hearing what I was saying. Because you're so calm, you'd be like rebuking what I'm saying. You'd be cut, you just be, I'd be like, wait, hold the hell up, Tim. But you just be so calm and your communications down. You're just to the point. And the next day when we're driving, I said, can I talk for 2 minutes? And then you can say whatever you want after that, and I'll be able to listen. And I said my point of view on the situation. And I really felt like you heard me. And you said, you repeated back that you heard me. But this is where you're coming from. And even in that, you still stood on what you were telling me before, which was fine. But I just felt, I think that was a more of a me. I just didn't feel heard.
Well, look, I think sometimes even in that, the it's hard for me. So like in all of like the learning that I've done
Mm-hmm.
of different books, being a social worker, two people can't be in an emotional state and have a conversation.
100%.
It's just not going to work. Because if we both emotional in the conversation, then that's going sparks are going to fly, and then it gets nasty. So, when most of the time, I try to always be like the logical person until it's my turn to express myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hit or miss, you dig what I'm saying? But we both can't be emotional and have a conversation. It ain't gonna happen. You can't have two emotional people having a conversation.
No.
It don't work. It
And
don't
I,
work.
but I think the topic that we were having an issue with hit personal for me. It
Right.
wasn't just no regular, it was things that were happening, certain behaviors, and like with that whole situation, not on your end, but what we were dealing with.
Right.
But at the same time, that's where there's a lot of growth on my end. I'm aware of it. I can see it happening, and sometimes I can stop it. But then when it comes to family or somebody I'm really close with, I let my guard down a little more, and I'll just
Mhm.
show who I am, and I'm like talking to you. With someone else in other situations and friendships, for the most part, I'm actually calmer.
Right.
Well, it's just that I'm just being myself and letting my wall down and showing how I really feel.
Right.
Now,
And that's
now
cool.
when I say cuss out, I'm not cussing my brother out. I'm not calling him names. I'm not
Stop the
swearing.
cap.
When did I call you a name? I've never called. I probably have before. When did I call you a name? I'd never call you a name. What
Bro,
name?
you be in here going down, bro.
You a lie. You a lie. I don't swear at him. I don't call him names or nothing because he's my favorite person. I would never.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he do be demanding me apologizing to him. I'm like, I'm not. I will say I'm not apologizing.
It's just for
No.
like certain. It's just even with that, like the happiness and the contentment. Just getting back onto that topic, and having those conversations and trying to stay in the logical sense of anything. Like it's easier for me to like be calm just based off of like all of the training. So like if I'm able
Right.
to continue to be calm, it keeps my happiness because I don't like to get mad. I get anger doesn't look good on me. It never
I've,
has.
I've never seen you angry before, really.
Bro, there
I
was
mean,
only one
annoyed.
time, like a couple of times, like, and then I've never been able to. I remember like when we were younger, and we were at the house at where we live, Parktown, and you remember you were upstairs in your bedroom, and I thought I had killed Chris. We had gotten to that fight, and I had like choked him out, but he had like passed out.
I don't remember that.
Shit, I remember that like it's yesterday.
Y'all fight all the time, so I don't know.
I know, but I had put him in his chokehold, and he like passed out. And I ran upstairs to come grab you. Like I think I killed him. I think I killed him. and we're down there shaking him on the ground. Then he finally comes back. And I was like, yeah, bro, I got this demon inside of me. So I like, I try all the things from having that conversation about feeding your soul and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I try all the things not to ever let that monster out. So I have other forms of to ways to release frustrating or angry feelings, so that I can keep my happy.
That's real. So just controlling your understanding yourself, knowing where you can go,
Yeah,
and then having that training on top of it. Do you think with that, remember when we had that conversation, and I didn't really go into it, I asked you, I said, I didn't think you were empathetic. Do you remember we're sitting at the dinner table? This is when I stayed with you guys.
yeah, yeah.
And I said, I didn't feel like you were empathetic.
I
Do
remember.
you, yeah, do you think because you operate a certain way, it comes off as not being empathetic?
What I think people what the definition of empathy is being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes
Mm-hmm.
through feelings or what have you, right? Now, if you've
Mm-hmm.
never experienced it to feel it, it's hard to place empathy. But within empathy, you can also validate one's feelings to let them know that they are seen and they are heard and that it was felt. I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I struggle with validating the emotion because I come from the standpoint of always trying to solve the problem and then working through it versus sitting in it with the person.
Yeah. And I will sit with it in you first. And then we'll come up with a solution. Who knows?
Yes, it's hard, man. Like
It, it's
feelings are
hard.
tough to deal with, and I think sometimes depending on like the brain space and where people are at, like when some people just dump stuff on them. Me personally, I'm not always in the mood or in the space unless it's like Saturday or Sunday when I haven't been at work and my brain's all fried.
Right.
I'm
And
more apt
it's
to,
okay not to have the capacity though.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's when you hit, when we talk about happiness, now you get into happiness and mental health.
right,
Because you have the risk of what we were talking about always, the risk of chasing the pursuit of happiness.
right. We
You
got a
always,
comment.
huh?
I said Bree said something, or just to get hurt.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Let me pull that up. You can read it.
What's interesting in my program I'm with is actually teaching us how to truly feel your feelings so it doesn't stay in you and start to affect your health, which is getting to that segue of happiness and mental health as you were just alluding to.
Yeah. You know what I think about? Like, I know some people who take like antidepressants and stuff, and they're always like, they're not working, they're not working. Well, you know what? That might not be a good example because that's just a mental health issue and it can be from a lot of things. But I think I do know some people that are waiting for it to chemically turn it on.
Sure.
And it could be the way they're, with the whatever mental health issues, because I don't really know. It could be environmental because environments can affect your, or something that happened can affect your mental health, or you have a chemical imbalance.
Well, the thing with meds, that's why
But
it's hard. Medicine is
still,
hard,
it's
dude.
like
Like
when you're
medicine
going
and
through
mental health is hard.
depression and things, it's like you're, what was
Hold on,
that?
I think something's going on with the internet. Hold on. All right, go ahead. I think it was like trying to catch up.
Oh, okay. I was just saying sometimes you can feel like when you're in that state or having mental health issues, you're on antidepressants, you're doing all the things, it seems like it might feel like you're trying to chase this happiness.
No, that's a fact. Meds are tough because
Mm-hmm.
first you gotta have it's a whole, we'll call it a value pack, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta have a good therapist, you gotta have a good psychiatrist, and
Mm-hmm.
your psych has to be willing to listen, because what happens with meds, it's like it's just truly what happens is it's almost like an experiment, because the doctor prescribing you the meds has no idea how this is going to impact you, because everybody's body is different. That's why we're humans. We're all different. We don't all take the same prescription dosage and all of those things because we're different beings, right? So it's hard to figure out. First, you might get switched on like 4 or 5 different pills. And then after that, they got to figure out what is the right dosage to make you feel how you're trying to feel. And then on top of that, everything else on side of the meds has to be going a particular way so that you even know if the feelings that you're feeling are genuine, because it's all in a circle, you know what I'm saying? It's all in a function, so that what I'm giving you
Right.
is going to impact this, to impact that, to impact this, to impact that, to impact this, and then we get back to the med itself. And then you become dependent upon that med, because now it's like, oh, this med is bringing me happiness, but the whole time it could have been some kind of outside source that from the not the medicine. So that's why I'm saying like meds are tough. They are tough. So that's why, like,
Yeah.
I think back to the episode of like finding the things that feed your soul,
Mm-hmm.
like usually doing that self-reflective of like an internal journaling of what are the things that do feed my soul, and keep those things close and tight to your chest so that you always have
Mm-hmm.
that to fall back on versus becoming dependent upon medicine.
Yeah, and
Now,
there's like a lot of holistic things you can do too, but we got to be careful talking about it because some people need meds, and that's
that's what
and
I'm
and
saying. So
that's
that's what
okay too.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say. Like, I don't. Please don't, respectfully. Please don't take that as saying don't take your meds or don't go to the doctor to get prescribed medicine.
Hmm.
I'm saying in the value pack, having all of those things together, getting your right medicine, getting your right dose, and then whatever outside influences that you need that help you, keep all of that close to your chest.
Yes. Another thing, I think about with like just like happiness and mental health, you get all these tools, right? And you're doing all the things, but life is peaks and valleys, right? There's still gonna be shit. And then when we maybe sometimes feel like we're not doing our best or using all our tools, we call it a wash. And
Yeah.
then maybe we go to the point saying we're depressed. But then you gotta think, are we really depressed or is this is just life's peaks and valleys?
Yeah. And yes, 100%. And that's why it is very, very important to figure out what does your lows feel like and what do your highs feel like. I don't think there's a lot of times that in being happy versus the contentment that we actually do the self-reflective work, which
Mm-hmm.
is hard work. It is very hard work
Very hard.
to know, like, what does it feel like when I am sad? And in that, I don't need to listen to what Tamika has to say about me being sad. I don't need to listen to the doctor. Like, I need to know how I am when I am sad. And I need to
Mm-hmm.
lock that in my brain and always remember that. What does it feel like when I'm genuinely and truly happy? Because as you mentioned in the definition of happiness, it is fleeting. We don't always stay in the state of happiness. We
No.
probably experience happiness and joy several times throughout the day. But in that, are we even tracking that? Like, dang,
Hmm.
I heard my favorite song today. That made me happy. I got a call from my favorite person today. That made me happy. I
Hmm.
read this in the book today. That made me happy. I just got some positive affirmation from my supervisor. That mean like, are we keeping track of all of those things that have made me happy, genuinely made me happy? Because it is a fleeting emotion. And then that's why I think when we get into I was about to say complacency. What is the C word? I just
Contentment.
yeah. When we get to contentment, we forget about like those joyous feelings because we're good and where we're at.
Right.
And that's
It's
okay
enough.
too. Yeah, it's enough. Like I've reached my point, my peak. I'm cool.
Or is it just acceptance at that point? Like,
Yes.
just like acceptance.
Yep.
And another thing I want to like bring up with, and I can't speak for men, I don't know what happens to you guys, to be honest, but women, and especially of us getting older in age, like in our 40s and stuff, our hormones are changing.
Facts.
We're getting into peri, some of us are experiencing perimenopause. Some of us are going into early menopause. Some of us are having issues with our period that's um, messing with our chemicals in our brain and our emotions and causing depression.
Right.
So being aware of that and like knowing your body, like when you're feeling, you were talking about tracking, like, oh, I'm feeling a certain way. This is TMI, but like I've been a woman long enough. I actually physically know what I'm like. I'm probably ovulating.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
probably
good though.
PMS. And I'll look at my thing and I am. So you
Yeah,
have to
you
take
know.
those into considerations. Like, oh, one day I could be feeling hopeless, but getting that self awareness. But why? Is it really? Am I really hopeless, or is these contributing factors?
What?
Um, Just a Cat Heart says that self awareness work. One study showed only about 10% of people in the study from Harvard were truly self aware. Because yeah, it's hard. Have you ever like watched yourself, like you're having a conversation or something's happening, and though you're in the moment, but you can like look at yourself like, oh, I'm getting upset. Oh, no, this isn't right. No, I got to get out of here. You're feeling your mind is telling you this
Yeah.
while it's happening, like but you just do you just do what you're doing.
I mean, sometimes if you're in too deep, you just got to go for it.
I'm already here.
I'm already here. That's why I was saying, like, truly, like, and being like matter of fact, a lot of times I got to catch myself because I'm like, dog, I'm already here. I said it. Here we are. It's out there. Because a lot of times things do need to be said, but who is the right person that should say
Right,
it?
right.
So there's been times in meetings where I'm the person that jumps off the cliff, like, well, shit, someone, it wasn't being said. Someone had to say it. It's out there now. Let's move on and move forward. Or figure out how we get figured out.
I've been that person, and I'm like, but I get a little heat, but at the end, same situation with you. In a situation, I jumped off the cliff, but our situation got better because it just needed to be said. There was like no pretty way. I wasn't horrible, but I got feedback. Sometimes I think that I'm just saying harsh stuff. Someone's like, actually, it's not as bad as what I think in my mind. They're like, no, there was no good way you could have said it. They actually just said you said it as it's just a defensive topic. So everybody was upset.
Well, in our workplaces or even like in our groups of friends or family or whatever, we don't have cultures of community to say certain things because the chance of offending somebody.
Right.
I believe that if we were able to develop these communities of practice based on truly trusting and loving and kindness, where that is expressed every day, we're able to get into those conversations where we can just actually be like, truly say what it is, word, because the underlying value of the group or values of the group is loving, kindness, and trust. Like those things are already instilled. So then when someone does say something that seems semi-offensive or what have you, is it, the words of being offensive don't even cross anybody's mind because
Right.
we built that community of practice to do that. But those things are hard to find. They're hard to come by.
It is. When you are feeling, when you feel offended or you feel all those things. Another thing I try to do, and I don't always, you know, handle things perfectly. But one thing I do want to add that we talked about, like, I'm not out here cussing folks out, by the way. You tell Tim, I'm not cussing anyone out. I'll say what I got to say, but I do try to be mindful of that because I'm an adult, right? So I don't want to exhibit that type of behavior. But hey, stuff happens. Somebody could get cussed. In my mind, I might want to cuss you out, but but
But in that though, you got to be aware of your
right.
nonverbals.
Why?
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying, like how I'm feeling. You know how you're physically like feeling like and being aware of it, but then asking yourself why? Why when they said that? Why did it make me so why in my body? Maybe I didn't say all the things I wanted to say. I didn't go off, but physically you're feeling away.
Right.
And that's a part of that self-awareness work is saying why. And even when you do the why, you may not like what you what you find out or what
Yeah.
your heart or what God or whatever is telling you what the why is of why your reaction is this way.
No, that's facts.
So it's
It's
it's a lot of work.
yeah, it's hard not to take stuff personal, especially like if you're in a vulnerable state. And I always try to work from the perspective or the premise that everybody is struggling with something on the inside that we don't know about.
Facts.
So I think on the delivery, remember always remembering that so that it doesn't
Yeah.
create like
Mhm.
psychologically unsafe places. And I don't
Mm,
think every leader is like aware of those things, which sucks that those people are in leadership, but you can't do much about it until they leave.
not really. Something else I just thought about. We were talking about kind of just standing, like listening to yourself. Is that what you were talking about earlier? Not listening to what,
Yeah,
not listening.
listening to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. So I'm in this, I will say I'm in like a little bit of a rebellious stage. Can I be honest? I don't want to hear nothing nobody really got to say it to me at this moment. And then I'll tell you why. It's not that I don't want to be course corrected or told. It's because there's too many voices.
Yeah.
There's too many people telling me what my like I need to do that. I need to do that. You should. I'm not listening to none of y'all. That's why I'm going on this fast. I'm focusing on my relationship and trying to hear the voice of God. And if I can't trust him and hear his voice, how am I going to trust myself?
Right.
Can't. So
Yeah, sometimes you got to go on that walk alone. Ain't nothing
I
wrong
got
with
to go
that.
on it alone. I can't ask. Like, I have the tools. I know what's right or what's wrong. I already
Yeah.
know it. But there's some walks I got to do by myself.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go dolo. Ain't
And
nothing
guess
wrong with that.
what? Maybe it's not even as big as I'm making it. I got to sit in my happiness and enjoy my happiness and narrow in on my contentment
Right.
of being at peace, being in the present, um, enjoying the little things because we are really blessed, Tim. People are out here really hurting. We get to sit in our homes. We can pay our bills. We can enjoy the little things like you like to come home, sit, watch your sports and your weird shows. I get to sit on my balcony
Why you gotta throw my weird shows in there, bro?
because that one show really messed me up. It was really weird, and I don't
What was
know
it?
why. He had the eyeball in his stomach. That was just weird. It was like a fit. It was gross. Whatever. I get to light my candle. I get to hang out tonight. I'm gonna go for a walk with my friends. The little things, being content. I get to do those things. I have a healthy mind and body to do so,
No,
and
that's a fact.
appreciating that, and not waiting for these big moments.
Nah,
Girl, I
I'm
called you
telling
girl.
you,
Sorry.
gratitude, bro. Gratitude is the best attitude.
Right.
If we did have a
Have,
lot more gratitude across the country, a lot more people would be happy because we, as you just articulated so beautifully, it's the little things, and we take all that stuff for granted, all of it. And I don't want to overgeneralize for the whole everybody because there probably are some folks that are keep that attitude of gratitude. You know what I'm saying? But it's always a good reminder to me, as you just mentioned, like those small things.
can you see me?
Yeah, you were froze. You back?
Yeah, I saw that. It's those little things, and it's practice, and it's okay if you mess up, and we gonna mess up. I think we get afraid of messing up, like you said, wanting to be afraid of being wrong or not doing the right things. It's gonna happen. We ain't gonna do everything right.
There's a book out there if y'all want to read it. It's called No Ego. I believe here. Let me check. But I believe I'm 100. I'm about 99% sure it's called No Ego. Great book. Like a lot of times why our feelings do get hurt is because our ego is in it. When you're able to move your ego out of it, it makes stuff so much easier. Because a lot of times we come with these complexes, and then we project our insecurities out in our workspace, with our family, with our friends, and then it creates toxic environments when we do that because you don't want to be wrong, you can't be wrong, you don't want to be judged, all of the things that are flowing through
Mhm.
you, and then that
Yeah.
blocks that blocks your happiness also.
Um, it says also, I read that contentment, and we talk a lot on happiness, but contentment and mental health, it improves mental clarity. It says contentment fosters a balanced and reflective mindset, which can reduce anxiety and stress and
Mm,
promote a more mindful approach to life. And that's basically the tools you were given just talking about ego.
mm-hmm.
It goes back down to foundation.
Facts. Facts.
And some of us are more advanced. There's going to be people that are being more advanced at all of this, and it don't matter as long as you're starting and trying to grow. And
Starting
even
is the hardest thing to do.
yeah, that is true. And and the hard part is when you think you've had all this growth and something happens and you get a setback, you're like, remember those memes when they like F this job? You just want to throw the throw the papers, F that job. And then you scurry up and pick the papers back up. Just kidding, just kidding. You remember the movie The Pursuit of Happiness?
Yeah, it's a great one.
It's a great movie. Is he still alive?
Who, Will Smith?
No, the real guy who
Oh,
played. Yes,
I was like, what?
you got scared for a minute. Who? Will Smith?
Yeah.
No. Who's the guy who it was really about? His name was like Christopher.
Wallace?
Isn't that Biggie Small? Stop, please. No, I'm gonna look it up. You said Chris Wallace.
No, I don't know buddy's name.
Chris Gardner. That's his name. And this was a true story. I don't know why I thought he was deceased. Or I think Gardner. But I always think about that movie. Oh, okay, no, he's like 7 years old. Oh, he's fine. Um, he's nice looking. He won't, right? But he never gave up, man. This man had so many any hurdle that could have happened to him, like what happened. And he still showed up in whatever state he was. He didn't wait until he was perfect or he was back. He
You
just
make it
kept going.
happen. Yeah.
He
Gotta
kept
make it
showing
happen.
up in what he was in present form.
Gotta make it happy for the family.
Right. But yeah, I haven't watched that movie in a while, but I always think of that movie like it kind of motivates you. That's a motivational movie to
I ain't gonna hold you. That movie kind of depresses me every time I watch it.
oh, why?
Like it's a
Tell me.
great movie in the end, bro. Like now, like any movie with like a father and son in it, it like touches my heart different. So you hard for me to watch some of the movies.
He's in the bathroom with his son. They have to sleep in the bathroom.
Yeah, and then they lock their buddy trying to bang on the door to go to the bathroom. That junk crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, do we have anything else in the comments? There's Brienne.
Just Brienne blowing it up like usual. Shout out to the wife, man. Appreciate you supporting
Yeah,
us.
we love you. Thank you. You guys feel free to say something. Let us know you here. You can just say hi. You don't even have to say a comment. I know some people have told me they've wanted to say stuff, but don't know if they should. You can say anything you want. We be saying
Just
stuff
say
all the
what's good with you.
right. So Brian said living in gratitude will change your life's direction and your health too. Stress affects your health just like gratitude. Facts. And it's also a good book. It's also a good book for coaching. Who are you coaching people with when you're coaching people with egos? Timmy, did you put what the name of the book was in the chat? Put it in the chat.
I put both the books in there that
Okay.
I referenced today. Hold on one sec.
I wanted to share another book with you guys. No ego. That's book one, y'all. No ego. Oh, that's the okay. This one is get to the point and no ego. Okay, and then I'm still doing the gratitude journal. So with that, the fun thing. Oh, mine's almost done. Only got a couple pages. So each day you will write in the morning. It's a morning and night journal. So you'll write 3 things that you're grateful for. And then you'll also write what would make today great. So 3 things that would make today great. Then at night, you would write 3 amazing things that happened to you. And then how could I have made today better? So yeah, it's the gratitude journal. I think this is my second one.
That's good. Yeah, that's what it's about.
And sometimes you gotta fake it, not fake it till you make it, but you gotta keep like pouring in the good even when you feel bad. But then I do think sometimes you can just have a bad day and start all over the next day.
You know, my man Deion Sanders, bruh. And this is a lot of work to get to this spot.
Mhm.
A lot of work. I bet Deion probably like 60 some years old. I don't know how old that man is, but he look older. Uh, because we are in charge of our emotions, and I don't know like how much truth is in it, but I would imagine it was probably like 90% true, or most of it is. When you're able to master your happiness, nobody can take it from you, or nobody
Ooh.
can give it to you. Honestly, he's like, it's a bad time, bad minute, bad hour, bad day. He's like, I don't have bad days. I might have a bad moment in time, but I don't let that one moment ruin my entire day of happiness. So it's hard to get to that spot, but we can get there. If you
I
want to get
believe
there,
it.
you can get there.
I believe it. So then that goes to something you kind of said in that. No one can take it, no one can give it. And people cannot make us happy. They can bring joy to our lives for sure, create a happy
Yeah.
moment, but the internal happiness. So, kind of hitting on relationships a little bit. I'm not, because we just got done talking about Will Smith, but I wish I knew, like, didn't know some stuff about them, but here we are. But he said he would say to Jada, I can't make you happy. I'm not in charge of your happiness.
Yeah, he said, I'm done.
I'm
I'm
done.
done trying to make you happy.
Which is, so what's your thought on that? Since you're in a marriage, what does that look like when you hear a statement like that?
I mean, I think it's real. Like,
Yeah.
I can bring things to create joyous moments, but that it fleet, it's gone. It's here today, gone tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not internally happy inside of you, then you're walking around angry all day, sad all day, what have you, whatever that emotion is, it's with you, it's staying with you because you're not doing the work. That's something he said. You're not doing the work yourself to promote your own within.
Right. And to get to that happiness, like for me, I have happiness, but I want to get to contentment, like kind of staying on that level. That's where I'm at. Whichever one you want to be in or whatever suits you. It's just the work. It's some for some people, it's like continuous work.
It is. It doesn't
It's
stop.
so, it doesn't stop. I think we've been like sold this dream that you do this and this and that, you should be happy. And there it is. So,
Yeah, we're sold a
or
lot of things, man. And I don't mean to get like super deep, but my conspiracy brain is about to come on. We're sold a lot of stuff. It's up to us to unlearn things, to relearn things. We rewire your brain to get to the functioning and actions and certain things that you want to see in your life. You have to do that work yourself. Nobody else is going to do that for you.
not at all.
And I don't want to be like a Marine or nothing like that, but like, ain't nobody going to come save you.
Nobody, they ain't coming.
So, like, your faith is very important to keep and have with you. Keep your faith strong, keep God first. But even in that, no action. If there ain't no action, ain't nothing coming.
Prayers without works is dead. Boom.
You got to put in the action. You got to put in the action. So
And I do want to say this. It's scary to I don't know, sometimes I'll say this, like, take charge of your own life. Sometimes it's scary. And it's gonna be. My advice is keep going. Do
keep
it
going.
do it afraid. It's if you guys enjoy the show, please like, share, and hit the notification button on YouTube. You can also listen and follow and rate on Apple Podcasts. I will put the links in the comment section. If you guys are interested and you want to come on the show, you can hit me up at bougiegirl@gmail.com, BOOSHEGURL@gmail.com. You guys, until next time, peace and blessings.
Peace.